I am forever grateful. If y'all are watching this, ooh, I don't mean to cry. I'm gonna come back. It's beginning to look a lot like Vlogmas on OhhSoPaige channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe, give a thumbs up for a like, and comment down below. It's beginning to look a lot like Vlogmas. It's your girl Paige, and welcome back to my channel OhhSoPaige for another Vlogmas video. I did tell you guys in my last vlog that I was gonna do a story time, and this one really is like story time slash testimony, which I've been wanting to tell since I freaking got to Texas. I did put a brief, in my apartment tour, I did state briefly like the whole journey. So I'm gonna do it in this video because it is the holidays. Jesus is the reason for this season, and I am a firm believer, and I just wanted to let you guys know how he blessed me, and maybe he can bless you. So this is my end of the year slash Christmas miracle that I'm living my dream, like literally, pretty much back in, not even September, like before September, probably like July, the middle of July at my job, I was not happy. And it's not that I wasn't happy with the job. It was just that like, it's more to life, and I'm tired of running the rat race, and I was like, I'm just ready to uproot my life and move. I really wanted to go to Texas. Honestly, I wanted to move to like California, but that's not in my budget. So there was no California for me. It wasn't realistic. I decided to come to Austin because there are a lot of influencers who are in Austin. Austin has a lot of different festivals that they do, South by Southwest and etc. So Austin is a growing city, and I just, like I said, I wanted to uproot my life and start fresh somewhere else, because we become complacent in life with where we are, and I just wasn't happy with where I was, because I know that there is greater out there for me. There is more out there for me. Not like, honestly, I didn't have any job offers here yet. I didn't have a secure place here yet. But I kept telling all my coworkers, I kept telling my friends that like, I'm moving to Texas. Like, as far as like dating, I kept saying like, my man is not here in Nashville, he is in Texas. Because I kept believing and praying, writing it down, putting it everywhere that I'm going to Texas. Like, I'm moving to Texas. I definitely prayed about it, asked God about it. You know, if it's within your will, like, please grant me this permission to move. If it's going to further me in my journey of who you created me to be, Lord, then I'm asking that you help me to get there. So fast forward to September, and I had applied for a couple of jobs. I had some interviews that were lining up, and I got excited. I started looking for a place to stay. With my last paycheck, I put in like applications for residences here in Austin, and one of the jobs I was interviewing for told me that they need to know when I was coming, because my next step was an in-person interview, and shortly after would be me starting a job. So I called my mom and was like, Mom, it's time for me to go. And it just lined up perfectly that next week my lease was up. So it's like, what's keeping me here? Nothing is keeping me here. Everything just lined up perfectly at this moment for me to go, because I was trying to go like back in July, August. Like, my best friend, she was moving to Texas too, and then she uprooted and left, and had already went down there. And that's another thing that we do. We watch other people's journey versus like take the time out to live our own journey. We try to rush our own path and our own journey based off of what we're seeing other people doing. Like they already were able to move. Why am I not ready to move? And it's not about what everybody else is doing. Your story is different than everybody else's story, and you can't base your whole book based on a certain chapter in your life. So that's another thing. Like never give up. Like never give up. So went ahead, got my mom, my sister, we packed everything and went from Memphis all the way here to Austin. Drove. Y'all, that was the longest drive. Literally at 3 a.m. before even getting on the road to Austin, I got pulled over. I got a ticket. 2 tickets actually, from a cop who was an a-hole, for better words. And literally made the drive on up here to a hotel. When we got to the hotel, we went to stop by the apartment that I wanted to move into. Now, in order to move into my apartment, they needed rental history from my current apartment that I was in Nashville. That Nashville apartment would not release my rental information because they were like, I was supposed to let them know ahead of time that I was moving out, but really you're supposed to let them know where you're gonna stay because my lease was ending. So I took care of all that before I left, and she said that she would go ahead and fax the information over. Now here we are days later, I'm not in Nashville anymore, and they're like, girl, they didn't fax us. We don't have any faxes. So based on that, I don't have anywhere to stay. So literally have all the cash in my name. I sold my couch. I had a paycheck that I just got, and that was all I had. Plus whatever extra my mom was gonna give me is all I had. So we're in a hotel. She got a hotel real quick because just in case things didn't work out with the apartment, she wanted to be a step ahead and got us like an extended stay. This extended stay, y'all, was terrible. Like I didn't even want to sleep in a bed. I slept on a chair. We had to kill a roach. Like my mom put something in the microwave almost exploded. Like it just was like something you see in a movie of like people traveling and like not being able to get a nice place to stay. Like it was so unreal. So we get to the next day and I still haven't heard anything. We're going to different locations trying to get me a place to stay. We're putting in applications like college residences and like putting in applications, and honestly nothing's biting, or my credit is shot. So I shot my credit down when my mom got me a credit card like sophomore year of college, which was a bad idea for her to do that. And I've been working on it, but you can only do what you can do with what you got. So I haven't really fixed it all the way yet. But long story short, everybody wanted bands, like buku money from me. And on top of paying the buku money, then I was gonna have to get ready to pay rent all over again. Like it just didn't make sense. It was gonna cost me too much to move into a place, more than what I had, more than what I brought. Like I wasn't prepared because the place that I applied for, that my apartment was being trifling with, had a special where they would give you half off of your deposit. So I knew if my deposit was high, I'm getting half off. So there's a chance I could get it. But you know, in the moment, you don't realize how God is working and you're upset. And I was upset about it because we went out to eat because my mom had to go back. This Sunday now, they have to drive 9 hours back to Tennessee so that she can go to work and so my sister can go back to Nashville to school. And we're in Cheddar's and I'm literally like in tears because they're getting ready to leave me. And the hotel we were just in, oh, I'm getting emotional. The hotel we were just in was trash with roaches. And it's like, I have nowhere to stay. I don't even have a job. I don't have nowhere to stay. And they're leaving me here. And I have half of my stuff. Like my car is full of my life. And I have nowhere to put it. And I don't know anybody here. But I just felt like God was calling me to be here. So I came. And literally spent the whole month of September and 2 weeks of October living hotel to hotel. Still no job. thank God for Postmates. That's why when y'all hear me talk about Postmates, Postmates really helped me, because all the money I came down here with was gone. It got ate up on hotels and I had nothing. So literally I was Postmating every day to make money to like have somewhere to sleep every night. And it's like I made so much money in that time frame. It just kind of makes you a little bit upset, because it's like if I would have been able to save that and not spend it on hotels, I made a lot of money with Postmates, which I made a lot of money with Postmates in Nashville too, but like it adds up. But I was able to like stay somewhere every night, places that offer breakfast every morning. So that was already a meal I didn't have to worry about feeding myself. Like I said, my parents ran out of stuff to give me because I'm not the only child. They still have my sister to take care of that's in college. So I can't just keep biting off of people when I can provide for myself. And my dad said, I commend you for your hustle. I don't know where you got it from, because it was times where I was depressed because, like I said, you know, the job wanted me to come for my in-person interview. Well, I got here and my in-person interview got pushed back to a phone interview that Friday. And after my phone interview that Friday, they pushed it back to my in-person interview the week after. So I'm thinking I'm already gonna be up here. I'm gonna have the job within the next week. No, I still didn't have a job. So if I would have actually got that apartment, if I would have scrounged up the money to actually get in that apartment, I would have been kicked out by the next month because I didn't have rent. I wouldn't have had rent. So like I said, in the moment, I was very like sad and frustrated with God. Like, okay, like I'm up here and everything is just like not working out. Like I don't have a place to stay, but honestly, I wouldn't have been able to sustain that place anyway, which would have really messed up my rental history to even get in any new apartment. So anyway, back to where I was at. I was Postmating for dear Jesus in order to make ends meet as far as like having a place to stay. Thank God for like being able to push bills back, because I was able to move my car note back. I explained my situation. The lady was so nice. She was like, you don't have to pay your car note until we're in September. She said, you don't have to pay your car note till literally the beginning of December. No, the beginning of November. And I was just like, thank you, God. As far as my phone bill, me and my parents went in to keep my phone on, because I have to be able to stay in communication with them. I'm up here by myself. So no matter what, we had to make sure my phone bill was paid, but it got pushed back to the furthest day it could each time. I did have a little angel that was for a season that came in and helped me to get really nice apartments. I mean, not nice apartments, really nice hotels like Marriott's and Residence Inn and like places like that were really nice for like $30 a night. And I'm forever grateful for that person and for that season, because I was staying in like places that weren't bad, but they weren't the nicest, for double what I was paying when I stayed at the Marriott, thanks to their discount. Because I was staying at like some Orangewood place, never heard of that, and I just stayed at a bunch of different places, a bunch of different extended stays. Like, you just don't realize how good it feels to be grounded till you don't have a place to call home. And you're going from place to place. You're walking indoors and you don't know if somebody's gonna, like, I'm looking out the window every night because my whole life is in my car and I don't need anybody to break into it. Like, you just don't realize the security of having your own place till you don't have a place. And I'm grateful and forever indebted that I had a way to make money in that process of not having a job. So finally the job started. Well, I got the position at the job, thank God. And they told me I was gonna start the next Monday, which had me excited because I would get paid the next week. But then they called me and moved it back another week. So it's just like, oh my God. And even at the job, I worked there for 2 weeks still with no place to stay. So I just kept praying and 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 praying, like, God, I'm gonna get this apartment. I have been looking at this apartment since day one. This apartment that I'm in, and then another apartment that's in a different building both of them, they're the same style unit, but I really wanted this style unit. For my birthday, October 5th, I went to Dallas to spend my birthday with my best friend. And I told her and my other friend at the time that I'm moving into this apartment. And I told them the number. And I said, just get ready for me to give you my address. I stated the whole address to them. I said, watch. That is going to be my apartment. I'm moving in there. And that's me having big faith, just speaking everything into existence. I spoke myself getting to Texas. I'm here. I spoke myself getting a job. I got the job. It didn't happen in the sequence that I wanted it to happen, but it happened. And so I said, God, you brought me here. I know I'm getting this apartment. I believe I'm going to get this apartment. So I worked my butt off, because honestly, when you become complacent, and when you are comfortable where you are, you won't try. You won't try to do anything to get out of that situation. I couldn't get comfortable staying night after night after night after night in places where I don't know if somebody's gonna attack me upside my head trying to go into a building with sketchy people, construction workers, people that stay overnight in random places. You just never know. So I'm forever grateful that in that whole month and a half of no job, I never went hungry. I never starved a day in my life, and I never went without a place to stay, ever, never. I did have one bad experience with a Motel 6, and that was my own fault. I was being cheap, and it looked like it was going to be a really nice place to stay until I got in there, and y'all got attacked by cicadas. But that's another story, because that's funny, me being attacked by freaking wildebeest. But anyway, long story short, because I know my story is getting long now and I'm becoming preachy, but God is just so good, y'all. Literally, I had enough money I had been watching the apartment for weeks. And once I got my first paycheck, I'm like, I don't care. I'm getting in there. First paycheck, we are getting this apartment. I'm telling my parents every day, if I get it on this day, then it's gonna be this much. If I wait till this day, it's gonna be this much. And what I noticed is that when you are in today's time and you try to request a place days ahead, they add more money. So I'm like, no, I'm just going to apply for the apartment the day of that I wanted. So I applied for the apartment the day of. It had a discount on it where they waived a $150 fee and literally approved me within seconds. I was like, oh my gosh, I got approved. And then I got hit with a curveball. And they were like, because you have no rental history, because that's where I went wrong with the last apartment. My apartment would not give rental history. So this time I didn't even say I had an apartment. I said I stayed with my parents. And when I didn't stay with my parents, I stayed on the college campus. So they were like, since you don't have rental history, we're charging you a whole $1,000 plus the amount of money it's gonna take you to move in, plus it was just know that money was just packing up. And I literally had maybe a quarter of what was needed to move in. And I got so discouraged, like seriously discouraged, wanting to cry. I'm still at work, because on top of having enough money to pay the deposit and pay the move-in fee and pay the rent for the month that I would have prorated, I still got to get electric cut on. And this place required me to have gas too. And on top of electric and gas, I still had to have water. I had to have all the utilities on top of all that money they had. And that's where my family came in. And I am, let me not get emotional. I am forever grateful. If y'all are watching this, I don't mean to cry. I'm gonna come back. You don't understand how much my family went to bat for me to get me in this place, because they were tired of me living under the conditions I was living in. They believed in me because of my strong faith. So with my faith, it made them want to figure out a way to get it done. And when I say I called my dad all defeated and told him how much I needed, and I had naysayers saying just give up, find a cheaper place, but I'm like, no, God told me this specific place, I will be in this place. If every place that I'm talking to wants this amount of money, why can't I spend this amount of money and be where I want to be? So I talked to my dad, and he was like, I'm going to try to pull some strings. And if by 3 o'clock you don't hear from me, we just going to have to go with plan B. Literally 30 minutes later, my dad called me and said, you moving in your place. I got the money. Called my cousin, because she's like a big sister that I never had. And she's always been like a big sister I never had, because we fight like sisters, but we're just cousins. And she was like, how much are your utilities? I got you. I'll cash out you the money. She cashed out me the monies that I needed for utilities, and everything lined up that we were all able to come together. And I moved in. I got my keys, honey. Within the same day I applied, I got my keys, and I FaceTimed my best friend. One of the first things I did, I FaceTimed my best friend that's in Dallas right now, and I said, guess what apartment I'm in? And she said, what apartment? And I told her the exact same address, the exact same apartment number that I had been telling her a whole week and a half before I even had applied for it, that I'm in here. But I'm gonna get out here because I got emotional, and I hope that this story didn't bore you, and I hope it was worth watching. But I just want to let you know that God will never leave you, okay? And I didn't create my channel to be a preachy person. My dad is a preacher. I'm very flawed. I'm not the preacher, so don't judge me like I am a preacher. But when I say God has come through for me time after time after time, me being here is God coming through for me. I was homeless, okay? I didn't have a job. I still love you, but God kept me. He kept me in the midst of it all, in spite of it all. And that's why I have no reason to be sad. I cannot get depressed, because I know what it's like. Every day I wake up and I walk around my apartment and I say thank you 1,000 times. I don't have no furniture in here other than this TV stand and this freaking tree, plus my equipment. I'm sleeping on a blow-up mattress, but you know what? I'm in here, and I don't have to go to a hotel. I got keys to my own place, and you don't know what it's like to have that security. Like, my first weekend sleeping in and not doing Postmates was just so relaxing, because you just don't know how at ease you are until you have your own place. So my message to you today is never give up. If you have something that you want to do, claim it. Claim it every day, and every day do something to work towards it. Write it down, draw it, tell the Lord, talk about it, talk to your friends about it, tell people about it, because when it happens and you tell them that you were able to do what you told them you were able to do, it's gonna bring faith to them. But that's all I got for you guys today. I gotta get off here because I'm all emotional. I'll see you in the next video.